The Catan, also known as the Star Gods, are one of the most ancient and powerful entities in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Their history is deeply intertwined with the origins of the Necrons, and their influence extends throughout the galaxy. The Catan are cosmic entities that emerged during the early formation of the universe. They were born from the primordial energies of the stars themselves, becoming godlike beings of immense power. Unlike other entities, the Catan are not formed from warp energy, but from the physical universe, making them vastly different from the Chaos Gods. The Catan started as ethereal entities that existed within the energy fields of stars. They were vast and amorphous, feeding on the raw energy emitted by the stars. However, they lacked consciousness and individuality in this early state, existing as simple energy feeders without distinct personalities or ambitions. The Catan's rise to power began with their discovery by the Necrontyr, an ancient and long-lived race. The Necrontyr were plagued by short lifespans due to their harsh, irradiated homeworld, leading to a culture obsessed with death and the afterlife. Their society was marked by a rigid hierarchy and an intense pursuit of immortality. Despite their scientific advancements and mastery of technology, the Necrontyr could not overcome their mortality. This drove them to search the galaxy for a means to extend their lives. But as time wore on and the Necrontyr expanded, its individual dynasties sought to claim power, which resulted in all-out conflicts known as the Wars of Secession. Zarek, the last of the Silent Kings of the Necrontyr Triarch, in an act to reunite the warring dynasties under the banner of a common cause, declared war on the civilization known as the Old Ones. The Old Ones were a race of absolute masters of energy that the Necrontyr couldn't yet conceive, let alone wield. For years, the Necrontyr hated the Old Ones for their apparent immortality and absolute refusal to share their gift of eternal life with the Necrontyr, who still bore the genetic curse of an irradiated early death. Under the promise of amnesty from the Triarch to any secessionist dynasty, and the lure of learning immortality from the defeated Old Ones, the separatist Necrontyr abandoned the Wars of Secession. During this time, the Necrontyr discovered the Catan through advanced scientific instruments that detected their presence in the stars. Fascinated by these energy-based entities, the Necrontyr sought to communicate with them. Through a combination of technology and arcane sciences, the Necrontyr succeeded in giving the Catan physical forms made of living metal, known as necrodermis. This metal allowed the Catan to interact with the material universe in ways they never had before. As the Catan gained consciousness and individuality, they realized the potential of feeding on more than just the energy of the stars. They found that they could consume the life force of sentient beings, a discovery that significantly altered their existence and fueled their rise to power. With the newfound abilities of the Catan, the Necrontyr saw an opportunity to achieve immortality. They made a pact with the Catan, offering their worship and servitude in exchange for eternal life. The Catan, in turn, agreed to help the Necrontyr in their war against the Old Ones. The Catan fulfilled their promise by sharing their advanced technologies with the Necrontyr, transforming them into the immortal Necrons. This transformation process transferred the souls of the Necrontyr into mechanical bodies, effectively granting them the immortality they desired, but at the cost of their individuality and emotions. With the Catan as their allies, the newly transformed Necrons waged a cataclysmic war against the Old Ones. This war was one of the most devastating conflicts in the history of the galaxy, involving immense cosmic powers and leaving a lasting impact on the universe. The Catan reveled in the war, feeding on the life energy of countless sentient beings. Each Catan develops its distinct personality and characteristics, often reflecting its methods of feeding and manipulation. They became known by various names, such as the Nightbringer, the Deceiver, and the Void Dragon, each embodying different aspects of fear and destruction. As the war progressed, the Old Ones were overwhelmed and were either completely destroyed or the remaining few fled from the galaxy. As a result, the Catan grew more powerful and arrogant. They began to see themselves as the rightful rulers of the galaxy and the Necrons as mere tools to further their ambitions. However, the Necrons, under the leadership of the Silent King Zarek, realized the Catan's true nature and the high price they had paid for their immortality. In a bold and calculated move, the Necrons turned against the Catan. They developed technology to shatter the Catan into countless shards, imprisoning them in special devices and scattering them across the galaxy. This betrayal marked the end of the Catan's reign and the beginning of the Necrons' slumber in stasis tombs, waiting for the right moment to awaken and reclaim the galaxy. Though the Catan were shattered, they were not entirely destroyed. Each shard retains a fraction of the Catan's original power and consciousness, making them incredibly dangerous and powerful entities. The Necrons use these shards as weapons, unleashing them against their enemies when necessary. The shards are often kept bound within Tesseract vaults, preventing them from fully regaining their power and seeking vengeance against the Necrons. Before their complete annihilation, the Old Ones desperately nurtured many warrior species with even greater psychic abilities, intending to create servants with the capability of defending themselves from the onslaught of the Catan and their Necron slaves. Some such species, including the Eldari, Krorks, and the Rashan, came into existence. Initially, these new creations proved powerful enough to push back against the Necron technology, and the Catan Empire was shattered. In an attempt to counter this, the Catan moved to seal off the material universe from the warp, thus cutting off the newer species' psychic abilities. But the consequences of this was both unforeseen and catastrophic. A cataclysm born from seeds of destruction planted by the Old Ones partnered with the flaws of psychic powers of the newer species threw the Immaterium into disorder. The Sea of Souls from the War of Heaven poured into the Immaterium, transforming older entities that dwelled there into horrific psychic predators and reforging the environment into the realm of chaos. The result of this was pure catastrophe for the Old Ones. Their last strongholds in the galaxy were overrun by these warp entities, who'd clawed their way through the cracks between the Immaterium and the material world. In the end, the psychic predators known as the Enslavers, whose ability was to dominate the minds of the newer species, was the final blow. This was the last event needed to completely topple the Old Ones and secure a victory for the Catan. Despite their downfall, the legacy of the Catan continues to influence the Warhammer 40,000 universe. The Catan's knowledge and technology have left an indelible mark on the Necrons, shaping their culture and technological prowess. Additionally, the existence of the Catan shards poses a significant threat to other factions, as they are unpredictable and capable of causing immense destruction. Various factions in the galaxy have sought to harness the power of the Catan shards for their own purposes. For example, the Imperium of Man has encountered Catan shards during its explorations and battles, often underestimating their destructive potential. Similarly, the Eldar and other ancient races remember the horrors of the War in Heaven and remain vigilant against the threat of the Catan's resurgence. The Nightbringer was one of the most feared Catan. The Nightbringer embodies death and darkness. It is believed to be responsible for the personification of death in the minds of countless species across the galaxy. The Nightbringer's presence brings terror and despair, and it wields immense power over the physical realm. The Deceiver. As its name suggests, the Deceiver is a master of manipulation and trickery. It thrives on deceit and illusion, often playing its enemies against one another. The Deceiver's influence is subtle yet profound, using cunning and guile to achieve its goals. The Void Dragon. Associated with technology and machinery, the Void Dragon is rumored to be connected to the Adeptus Mechanicus machine god. It has dominion over technology and is capable of corrupting and controlling machines, making it a formidable adversary. The Outsider. A more enigmatic and reclusive Catan, the Outsider is shrouded in mystery. Its motives and methods are not well understood, but is known for its madness and unpredictable behavior, often causing chaos wherever it appears. The Burning One. Associated with flames and destruction, the Burning One embodies the raw, destructive power of fire. It is a relentless force of devastation, leaving scorched worlds in its wake. The history of the Catan is a tale of rise and fall, of cosmic power and betrayal. From their origins as star-dwelling entities to their dominion over the Necrons and eventual shattering, the Catan have left an indelible mark on the galaxy. Their story is a testament to the dangers of unchecked power and the consequences of ambition without restraint. In the Warhammer 40,000 universe, the Catan serve as a reminder of the ancient and terrifying forces that lurk beyond the understanding of most races. They are a symbol of the eternal struggle for power and survival, a theme that resonates throughout the grim darkness of the far future. As the galaxy continues to evolve and new threats emerge, the legacy of the Catan remains a constant, haunting presence that shapes the fate of all who dare to challenge their might. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the lore of Warhammer 40,000, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more exciting content. Share your thoughts on the Catan and their impact on the galaxy in the comments section below. We love hearing from you. And thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.